Hi everyone, my name is Stephen Amundsen. I work at the Front Range Community College Larimer campus. I am the coordinator of supplemental instruction here. And today I want to talk to you all about using an SI leader in your classroom. So these are some of the best practices that we like to implement when we train faculty. And the first thing we try to implement is to let SI leaders assist with student learning. And so what does that mean? That means that you try to create a space for students in the class to interact with the SI leader, and you treat the SI leader as essentially a teammate in the class. And so what that does is you have the student leader work with students in a small group. So if you set aside a few minutes to work on a problem, for example, in math, students will work on groups on a particular problem, and the SI leader will go around and they'll help students when they get stuck. Maybe the professor is busy working with another student, and so another student might raise their hand. So it allows more one-on-one interaction for students. And essentially, I tell professors to integrate their SI leader into the classroom rather than be like, oh, yeah, it's that person sitting over there, that person sitting silently in the room. So I think that's really helpful when you're trying to implement an SI leader. But how do you do that? So you give them a voice essentially. So you schedule times in each class for allowing them to make announcements of when they're going to hold SI sessions, when they're going to hold um, group meetings outside of class. And so we really want to create opportunities for SI leaders to be successful outside the classroom, but we also want them to be successful inside the classroom. So we try to give them space in the classroom by allowing them, say, for example, a 5-minute warm up to allow them to do a couple of examples with the class because the research seems to show that if their fellow colleagues or students can see them doing a problem in class, they'll feel more confident in their ability to um, do a session with them outside of class. And so that gives an opportunity for the professor to also see what it's like to see the SI leader in action teaching students. So we really, really encourage that. A couple other things that we really encourage is to get in-class feedback. So we always ask the students, we poll them at the beginning, at the end of each semester, asking them where they strong or where they struggle, what kind of confusion they have, and it's really good to help the SI leader gauge where everyone's at in their learning style. And so I think it's really important that the professor set aside some time throughout the semester to let the SI leaders engage that feedback. As it relates to the SI sessions, these are really beneficial for students outside of the class. I know some professors have concerns about whether the students are implementing the class content correctly to other students. For example, a Math 121 professor might be worried about how a student leader is approaching a math problem in the correct manner. But what happens is that essentially you have coordinators like myself who come in and make sure that students are following the proper procedures that math faculty like to have taught, making sure they're being professional in the classroom and things to that effect. Um, but essentially, there's a lot of trust involved with making sure the SI leader is developing class content for the SI sessions appropriately. And there's a lot of feedback loop between the coordinator and the student and the faculty, and I think there's a lot of good communication going on to make sure everyone is successful there. Um, but overall, I think we're trying to help student success. We're trying to develop students here, and so I think SI sessions are really important because you can discuss challenging situations with your SI leader. For example, if there's class content that everyone in the class really typically struggles with across the board, that's a great time to talk with your SI leader about how we're going to make everybody in the classroom successful. And I think when you have an SI leader, it's important to build a positive relationship with them. Talk about what your future goals are, help them narrow down where their weaknesses are and how they can improve on them. Overall, it should be a professional development opportunity for your student leader to be successful and to really grow as a student. Some of them, this might be their first professional opportunity. I think that's a great way for us to help develop students and to help them be better supporters of that class content as well. You know, a lot of students struggle in certain areas like math and science. And this gives us great advocates for students to encourage other students to keep going with these subjects as they move to graduation. But I hope that was helpful. Those are some of the success strategies we use here at the Larimer campus, and I hope that you find them helpful too. Thanks. Bye.